because I'm not politically aware. I'm not in the news. I'm not reposting every horrific thing that happens. And you can say I'm burying my head in the sand. But I'm going to tell you that I am surviving by thriving. You know, especially for all of my family and friends in the US, you guys are going through it right now. It's the stock market that's completely unpredictable. It's the horrific news coming from Gaza minute by minute, hour by hour. It's the mass firings of people in organizations. And it is a sense of insecurity that you guys haven't had in a long while. I mean, what, since COVID? I don't know. And I think it can be really easy for all of us to wallow in that, especially with social media. You can just be in there scrolling all day. And I'm like, especially as a Black woman, I'm like, no, thank you. I'm not. And here's why. I actually think that the way I'm going to fight back is by living my best damn life ever. Do you know what I mean? Because right now, it feels like the bad guys are winning. It feels like the ideals that we had, whether it's the environment or equity or a, global community, it feels like they're all just being crushed and questioned. And it's so easy to be like, I don't know, to crumple into a ball and cry and fall out on the floor, which I gotta say, that of course, falling out on the floor does have some value. But if you're ready to move on like I am, let's go. The work that I do is my method for fighting back. The fact that I'm just sitting out here with my little bit of fuzzy edges, speaking my truth while living in a completely different country, because I gotta say, I know the fact that I am not in the thick of it every day makes it much easier for me to deal with. But that's why I'm going to be the flag bearer for all of us. Let's go, you all. Do not let what is going on in the world outside be what defines you on your daily basis. Don't let it get in the way of your dreams, especially if it's not true. If you weren't one of these people who was part of the mass firings, then what excuse do you have? Like, I look at all these people who are having harder lives than me right now, and I'm like, in the honor of you, I will thrive. I will have a good time. I will work with people I like. I will make the money I want, because that is how we fight back, with our joy, not with our collective sadness. And so part of the reason that this is why I like working with the people I work with, because they're already really amazing. They're already making changes. They're already very smart, but typically they don't have a lot of time, or life has made it so they're not as confident as their capabilities allow. And I get to take this person, amplify them, and then the world comes back and says they are so great. And that is my joy. That is my resistance. Sorry, not watching the news. Sorry, not reposting that messed up thing. But I will make sure that the people that I want to be seen, heard, and celebrated are blasted out into the world in a way that is positive and fun, because you can be educated and not boring at the same time. Ooh, pessimism. Rebecca says, this is so true. Pessimism is so seductive. It is so seductive to be pessimistic. And it is proven that people think that you are smarter when you are pessimistic. Well, F that, because it's not true. And optimists end up with better outcomes, and that's what I'm here for. You have to recognize, everyone, that in part of the way that we're going to have a better situation for all of us is to recognize that your individual success, especially if you're what you would consider a good person, is part of winning. You can listen to the news every day and feel completely disenfranchised, or you can look around in your reality and say, hey, I'm the person in my family with the highest degree, and I have the best income, and I have the most perspective because I visited all these countries, or I speak all these languages, and I have a message that I want to share, and I can. And I also recognize that I don't have to have 2 million followers to make a difference. Maybe you're just talking to the people that you grew up with. Yeah? Joy is resistance. So I want to encourage you guys to take action and go after what it is, whatever it is you want, as I will do. In these next couple of weeks or days, I'm going to be telling the story of how this winter I was feeling kind of low. I was feeling worried about my business and the different action steps I took to turn everything around. And now I'm this. Now I'm up here. Nobody preaches like the newly converted. And I want you to join me on this side of the joyous resistance. Now, I have 2 clients who do this really well, so I just want to shout them out real quick. One of them is Dr. Kim. Dr. Kim is out here the busiest person I know, without a doubt. And yet she shows up at 5:30 a.m. to meet with us to invest in her dream of becoming a thought leader. And she's out here passing on positive messages, and that inspires me every week. And the other is a client named Sharia, who has built her entire business, her entire mental health business around joy as resistance. And she has some amazingly huge contracts, and she is spreading that into cities, working with some frontline workers. And it's like, yes, we can find joy in this reality. And that is our resistance. Yeah. So if you're looking for motivation, commiseration, and excitement, come check out my lives. I'm going to keep doing more and more content, everything, because I'm ready to come out here and remind you all that you have way more control over your life than you think. All right. I'll see you there. Bye.